So hours before Game 1 between the Celtics and the Miami Heat, head coach Ime Udoka dropped a bombshell, and that was the fact that Al Horford would not be available for the Celtics. This is something he found out hours before tip-off, and that was that Al Horford was entering the health and safety protocol. Josue Pavon here alongside Bobby Manning. Bobby, that's the last thing anybody wants to hear in the postseason, right? Any team in that regard, right? Having to see one of their star players or one of their featured players unavailable in this type of environment. Eastern Conference Finals, no other information in that regard. Obviously, this is something that's been going on all year long where they keep that stuff private. Ime will not say if he actually tested positive for COVID-19. However, Al is in the protocol, and we're not quite sure if he's going to be available for Game 2 here Thursday night. What does that mean for the Celtics, Bobby? Obviously, on defense, this team looked very different without Al Horford. How do they adjust, one? And I guess, two, what did you see in their approach without Al? Like, how different is this team when Al's not out there?
Well, defensively, they sustained early with Rob out there, and you saw the impact of Rob's length and his ability to cover ground, play off of guys. They have depth in the front court to sustain. It's just at the point of attack against Bam, I think you want him defending the pick and roll, some of the off-ball stuff. The rebounding becomes an issue. Al was great in Game 7 on the defensive boards, keeping Milwaukee off of those. Miami, what really got them going in the third quarter there was getting on the offensive glass, getting a couple extra shot opportunities. Bam got the three-point play on a third chance opportunity. So that's probably where you miss Al the most now. He's also a passing outlet, can run some offensive sets there. I don't think they missed him a ton in this one, but it's just another depth piece. It's a core member of that starting lineup that's probably the best in basketball this year when they're all together, and you're missing two of them coming into this one. Amazing that they did what they did. Thought they looked real sharp without them. Competitive for 3 out of the 4 quarters without Horford and Smart. The problem is Adrian Wojnarowski reporting that Horford's probably going to miss Game 2 as well. Ime said
that's what I figured.
But you do have to think that he's in this now. I asked Ime what the process is. It's either testing out of it or reaching a certain number of days at this point. But some guys have gotten out as early as 5 days, so I think there's a chance Al could be back in Boston.
Okay, yeah, well, that's not bad. I mean, obviously, if you're the Celtics, you would love to see him in Game 2, but if not, I think what makes things worse is when you don't have Marcus Smart out there. I think defensively, those are your two juggernauts, and you're a vastly different team on defense. Sure, we didn't see that in the first half. It seemed like the Celtics were in good shape or decent shape without them, but in that third quarter, that was the story of Game 1. You can't help but wonder what that team would have looked like in the third quarter if they had either Al or Smart out there.
Yeah, I think he's the one they miss more. Organizational defensiveness, defensive play, ball control, especially the point guard. You missed him immensely out there. I know you talked about Derek White, needing more shot making from him to pace those runs, stop runs. Marcus is a run stopper. He can pour in a three-pointer, get downhill and find a guy on a drive and kick. He's really in full control of this offense a lot of the time. Right. So you miss him immensely here. First game without him, he was great in Game 6 against Milwaukee. Game 7, he gave you a decent game. He's quietly been a real rock for this team throughout their playoff run here, aside from that one game he missed in Game 2 last series. His is more concerning. Foot injury. Could that be long-term? Could that threaten his entire series? I feel better about it because of the fact that they were optimistic if they really treat it well that he could have gone in this one on his feet on the sideline the whole game. There's optimism, I think, that he could be back for a Game 2. But again, with that injury, you just don't know. It's the same one that cost Hayward the end of his season. His more severe, I would think. MRI came back clean, as Woj said. So I think you hope that this is a minor one for Smart. But as of this morning, the swelling was still bad. Pain and range of motion wasn't there for Smart. So real possibility he could miss Game 2 in 2 days as well. The short time span between these games isn't working in their favor.
This segment of the Garden Report is brought to you by Calm.com. Right now, when you head to Calm.com/garden, you can save 40% on a premium subscription. And you don't want to miss out on this. This is a come up, guys. So if you haven't already, head over to Calm.com/garden for that 40% off on a premium subscription. That's Calm.com/garden. So, Bobby, what happens in Game 2? I mean, I'm sure Celtics fans are going to cross their fingers when it comes to Marcus Smart. Maybe the chances of seeing Al out here are significantly slimmer compared to Marcus. But if this team is to continue without Marcus in Game 2, how do they adjust?
You got to just lock down and not turn the ball over. I said coming into the series,
take care of the ball.
The only way you're going to lose to the Heat is if you beat yourself. And you just see how you energize them by giving the ball up. getting it out of there. Derek White got to step up. I think you put the ball in Rob's hands more. He seems capable of doing more in this series once his conditioning gets right. So hopefully with each passing game, you can put more responsibility on his shoulders. But listen, it comes down to Tatum and Brown. They're better than this. They got to be better than this. And if they're not, the Heat are going to be playing in the NBA Finals.
Oof. Well, it's gonna be a long series, Bobby. So let's hold out real quick. But you bring up a good point about Marcus. Even if Marcus is limited in Game 2, I still think he would make an impact here. But it's all up to what he's going to do and what the Celtics ultimately decide. But let me ask you this though: if it's a pain tolerance thing, is there a chance that the Celtics would let him go this early in the series, or do you see them making that executive decision and saying, "Look, if we're not ready to send you out there, we don't want you out there"?
Yeah, he's got to be able to move. That's going to be the key. Pain tolerance, I think that he'll get through that. He played most of Game 7 through it. Right. Adrenaline, everything else comes into play there, and then you get that day off that slows up and goes crazy. He's got to be able to get in the shoe, got to get the orthopedic, whatever they call it, in the shoe there, right? They're doing all kinds of things to get him out there, but it's a scary injury. You don't want to aggravate it. You don't want to cost him his series because he seems to be, more than anyone, the essential piece when it comes to ball control. And that's going to be the story of this series, it looks like. The Heat get out there and run. As Bam Adebayo said, the bucket turns into an ocean. Yeah. And that's what happened here tonight.
Yeah, that's spot on, Bobby, because I feel like it's not just about the defense with Marcus. He's evolved as this team's point guard, and he's certainly the top playmaker. And this offense does look different when he's not out there, and especially on the defense. They look different out here in Game 1 against the Miami Heat. That's going to do it for us here in Miami. The Celtics once again dropped Game 1 against the Heat, and this segment is also brought to you by HelloFresh. Head over to HelloFresh.com/playoff16 where you can get 16 free meals from HelloFresh, 3 special gifts, and all because you are watching us on the Garden Report. Again, that is HelloFresh.com/playoffs16. The Celtics are still halfway there. They got 8 wins, 8 more to go, but this could be a steeper uphill battle than we anticipated. But we are here to let you in on everything that's going down here in Miami, of course. Bobby Manning, I am Josue Pavon. We will get you ready for Game 2 Thursday night. Stay tuned for plenty more coverage on CLNSmedia.com and, of course, here on YouTube at CLNS Media.